Hi, I have my freshly laundered hair here. We're going to the opera tonight. My hair's still wet. It's still getting to its full form. It'll dry the way it wants to, but anyway, we're going to the opera. Am I into opera music? No, not really. Don't really know much about it. Actually, we saw our first one. Well, what I knew about opera before I saw the first one a few months ago is like the songs that we hear in movies sometimes, like that movie where that model plays some super smart alien but then needs to be rescued by the diehard guy. Like that scene was beautiful, but I don't know if I expect the opera to actually look like that and have all of that happening in the background as well. Or like scenes from Pretty Woman where she's moved to tears as she's watching this opera. I'm like, what if I will almost pee myself because it's so good? Like, there's this thing about opera music that it has to be a thing, right? Maybe if I see my first opera, that'll happen to me. So that was my attitude. We found super, super cheap tickets. So we got whatever was available. And the first one was a few months ago. And I was really nervous to go because what if it's terrible? That's like terrible for an hour and a half. Also, the tones of opera, it's such high notes for the female singers and then such low ones that I'm like, does that hurt? The whole time I'm thinking, does that hurt your voice or that's just where you're comfortable? So let me try to enjoy. I'm not sure if those are the tones of my heart when I listen to music. I don't know. But there is, like I said, from pop culture, from movies, there are some opera songs where I'm like, whoa, that is just absolutely beautiful. Could there be a whole show of me being moved like that? So the first show, and this is like in the Philly Opera House, like beautiful, beautiful. I was really surprised that people didn't get dressed up. And I think they don't technically have uh what is that called? When you a dress code. So I don't think they had a dress code, but I think they were like, hey, try a little, like launder your stuff and maybe throw on a pair of shoes or something. But not only that, when the show started, they were wearing coveralls. They were like, the behind the scenes workers in a museum. And I was like, no, I don't want modern coveralls. I want the grandiose, the elaborate. I want, I guess, what I depicted, and maybe that's old now. So I'm getting nervous, like, oh, maybe it's old opera, maybe modern opera is like, we're just dressed like regular people, like how when the show Rent came out, I was like, no, no, not the stuff that I wear on the street. I want to see the big theater, and maybe that's snobby. I don't even know what it is because I don't really know what snobby is in opera. So maybe it's just snobby as a person. I think it's just an opinion. Anyway, the first opera was in Italian, which, by the way, is not a thing because digitally on top of the stage was all of the translations. It was subtitled. This live show was subtitled. Okay, I just realized how old I sounded. I'm like, it's digital and everything. So, part of me said to myself, like, oh, I now will understand it no matter what. But the other part was, I thought that it didn't matter what language it was in. I wonder if I'm sort of like ruining it for myself to not experience it in this other language where the music will maybe speak to a language that's shared or something. But I read the subtitles. Oh, and like I said, the costumes were a little meh, and the people were talented. Like, do you not need to breathe? You can just, and the notes are perfect, and everyone is just so on point. And of course, you have to be like the elite, I think, of this genre in order to be in shows. Like there aren't that many shows to begin with. So we are getting a pretty good group of people in this genre. So, I shouldn't be surprised that they're that expert level, but it was wow. But still, I was like, oh, I don't think this is for me. I start looking at the exits, like, would it interrupt the show if I leave? And I think it would, because the closing of the doors made it sort of more dark. And I think if I open it, it would. And I don't think they were very mic'd, like not individually. I feel like you could hear and see if I leave. And I'm still thinking this. So I go, all right, you know what? I'll leave at halftime. Worst case scenario, like sit, be present, try to get opera into you. Like at least you were paying attention. You were looking to connect with it. Don't just look for the exit. And it picked up. And during halftime, I was like, you know what? Let's just see how this ends. And wow, by the end, I was crying. It was so good. The sound and the visuals that they put together for us. First of all, human beings turned into art. Like actually, literally, that's what they did. They did them like very famous art pieces that, of course, I'm not going to be able to just rattle off because I am an ignorant person, but stuff that we would recognize. And then at the end, they created this one massive piece of human art installation, and they slowly moved into that piece where the final thing that we saw was art made by human beings, and it looks like it's on the wall, but it's three. Yeah, I mean, wow. It was, and I'm describing it again from an ignorant place, from from a place that I don't know. I feel like shout out to the Gilmore friends. I feel like Rory and Carrie, if you're listening to this in real time, skip this part. Rory, when she did the ballet review. I'm like, and then it was good in this way and not good in this way. I write nice. Okay, so we did see a second one. Today will be our third. The second one was in English. And for some reason, we both preferred the Italian. How weird is that? Like, I don't like reading subtitles, taking away from, the visual of this to kind of break it and read the subtitles on top. But there was something about it being in English, and the sounds that are coming out of their mouth are so fully understandable that we're just going with this sort of like a corny pretense, corny jokes being thrown out, like a little, modern day. And for some reason, when you understand it simultaneously, it just kind of, again, what a great review. It was, but again, the thing gets better and better the whole way, and it just culminates in beautiful stuff. And I just feel like, wow, I get to see the opera, like I never did before. And it's just this experience of, what if I try something that I might really, really just be bored through and hate, and do it anyway, because then I get to see if I actually hate it. I don't know if I hate the opera. I've never seen it. So tonight, I don't know anything about this particular opera. I do like to go into like movies, into everything, not knowing. With this, I don't even know the genre. With movies, I like to know the genre, just the genre, because I'm going to skip over some genres like horror. I don't think if the opera is a horror opera, they usually depict blood with like satin, beautiful red satin flowing on the stage or whatever. At least that's what I saw in movies and shows. So this is not going to be gory. I know that. But I do like going into shows not knowing anything, not knowing even if it's going to be in English, for the opera, not knowing if it's going to be in English. Yeah. So let's see what this one will be. I don't really get dressed up anymore, but I will wear my more polite clothes. my more adult clothing, probably. Maybe I'll wear shoes. No, I'm gonna wear Crocs. I don't think I don't wear shoes anymore. I only wear Crocs and sneakers. So I'm gonna skip the sneakers and wear the good Crocs. I only have one pair of Crocs. So wear the Crocs and let's see how tonight goes. Thanks for listening. I mean, have you tried the opera? Have you subscribed? I think take the time, just a second. It'll give me a little, ooh, someone subscribed. Ooh. Thanks for that being you today. Later.